What up, YouTube? I am back. I spent the day yesterday in Toronto, and I met some of my friends. You met one of them, Chris Martin, already from Post Office Sound / Do Good Management. I am going to show you in a sec another conversation I had with somebody named Dan Gonzalez, who is a co-founder, a leader at this company, this new platform called BLAWK.AI, BLAWK.AI. I'm going to say it again then. And they do some cool work in the music industry, helping people really identify the value of their catalog. So I'm going to play that in a second. For the first 15 seconds of the actual conversation, the mic wasn't working. So just bear with me for the first 15 seconds. And then, meet these guys, and you'll see more from them soon. I'm here in Toronto, and I am at my boy Dylan Jackson's company headquarters. It's not really a headquarters, though. It's like this abandoned warehouse. It's really fucking weird. But his boy, his co-founder, Dan Gonzalez, is somebody I just met. But they're making some waves in the industry right now, helping artists get liquidity, which is crazy, bro, because artists need liquidity. They need to be able to get liquidity so they can keep growing, to live, whatever the fuck it is, right? They have this company called BLAWK.AI, BLAWK.AI, right? I went to their party in Miami for Basel, this Pudgy Penguins party with my wife. I was there for like 2 minutes, but we got a Pudgy Penguin at least. Dan, just tell me about what you guys are doing with BLAWK.AI, and just hold this though.
Yeah. So what we've come to realize is that music is an alternative asset class. So what does that mean? It's uncorrelated to traditional markets, right? Think of the S&P 500, right? Sure. But if you double click on music as an alternative asset class, it's also a very liquid asset class. Sure. So alternative investments have historically been very illiquid, and you've seen private equity firms, all the big wirehouses, institutional banks, investment banks, now starting to pour money into Catalogue, because what they've realized is that it's kind of like real estate, where you buy it and you get rent, and the rent is a royalty, so you get that every month. Sure. However, on the flip side, sellers don't know how to actually price their catalog. So the premise of BLAWK is ultimately to create a marketplace where sellers can ultimately list their catalog for a fair price, and we connect them with buyers. So we're a full end-to-end platform, which empowers the sellers, but ultimately front loads the due diligence for the buyers.
Okay. Why did you come up with this? I know you guys were working on a couple ideas. This came together because you were working with or talking to a lot of rights holders, right?
Yeah.
And you also, I'm sure, talk to a lot of artists, and this is a problem for artists. Mm-hmm. How did you guys come to this idea? Why did you guys get to this spot right now? And why have you been so bullish on it?
Yeah. So prior to this, I was the CFO of a big label in Miami, and I got to raise capital for them. I got to acquire businesses, and I really got to understand the enterprise value of IP. And when I went independent, I opened up a business management shop, and one of my clients was in the process of selling their catalog. But this was before I onboarded him as a client. But regardless, he kind of forwarded me an email and essentially said, hey, I have an XYZ buyer who's looking to buy the song. The song was priced at, let's say, $100,000. Ended up getting it, So I told him, hey, don't accept the offer yet. Let's do some due diligence on the actual product. I'm send me the metadata statements. And he's like, oh, I didn't know it was that intricate. Long story short, that $100K offer ended up being closer to $1 million at close. And it really came from understanding the understanding of metadata, IP, decay, understanding key markets. And I guess from that case study, we leveraged that and anchored it to develop BLAWK,
That's amazing, because the ability to get the fair value for your IP is important, especially when the powerhouse, the power centers are the ones that are really setting the market price. It actually gives artists, people, the creators, the power back in their own hands to really understand the fair market and really build their own equity up, right? And maybe even borrow against it at some point. I don't know. What is next for you guys? Are you taking in any artists right now? How can artists actually work with y'all?
Yeah, so we have a wait list that's already live, so people can already inquire on it. We're integrated with with all of the biggest distributors, so you can start working on that end to end. And I think providing a more robust financial solution, right? Everyone's thinking catalog sale. But in reality, there are other forms of strategic financing that doesn't require you to exchange rights for money. For example, taking a loan on your catalog, taking an advance on your catalog, and ultimately presenting sellers with different options, right? Because the reality is everyone thinks, oh, you just sell it. But no, you may actually want to take on some debt or some shorter term financing because that cash is only needed for a momentary thing and you can reinvest that back into your business without compromising the rights as well.
And that's amazing because we're gonna end up partnering on some of this stuff. I do growth marketing, and I'm trying to build the value of the catalog for an artist. Like when I work with an artist or a label or a rights holder, whoever's creating the stuff or funding it, the idea is to just drive more value to it over time through streaming. But also, I find that there's other ways to find that value through other revenue and income streams in the music industry, which we're always trying to identify at a global level. Mm-hmm. But if your music starts moving, tell me the best case scenario, for you guys in the next few months working with the right artists. Like, what type of artists are you looking to actually work with at the moment, and how do you get off that wait list essentially?
Yeah, so I think when you're starting a company, you got to do the unscalable in order to scale, right? So we started working with some harder case studies, more established artists, and we've done a couple deals already with them end to end. And I think being able to take those best practices and simplifying them allows sort of the smaller case studies to become automated. So I think that's, when you're building a startup, it's kind of counterintuitive, but you start with the unscalable to then scale. And that's one aspect of it. And I think the other side of it too is just like being able to, work with firms like yourself to create the right inbound marketing strategy, right? Because everything right now has been, being able to leverage our ecosystem. But as we scale, we're going to rely more on inbound. And that's where we, work with people and collaborate with people like yourself. So
cool, man. We're going to see a lot from these guys. I'm actually going to help them figure out the inbound, bring all you guys. Hopefully we can, get you guys some liquidity for your catalog. What would you say? What is this one piece of advice that you have for artists? If this is an option, right? How should they be, continuing? How should they look at their own catalog?
I think when you look at your catalog, I think it's very important to understand the premise of ownership, because when you see these headlines of people doing $1 billion sales, as referenced in the marketplace, or people selling it for 200, 300, 400 million, it all starts from being able to participate on a claim or an ownership. And that's really just the understanding of IP, right? And I think there's a bigger through line, right? Like data hygiene. As you are an independent artist, it's important to understand the importance of your publishing. It's important to understand the importance of your masters, your neighboring rights, because all of these have rights attached to it. And if you build up that right to a lucrative asset, then someone's willing to either buy it, invest it, or loan you against it.
So yeah, you guys will be seeing more from BLAWK.AI people. My boy Dylan Jackson is going to jump on one of these vlogs, hopefully soon, and we'll showcase and document some of the process. So stay tuned. This is cool shit. This is cool shit that's empowering artists. So that's all I'm about. This is another vlog. I'm putting it out a few days later because I don't want to inundate everyone with a bunch of vlogs all at once. So you'll probably see this on.
Is it going to Instagram too or no?
Yeah, we're gonna clip it all up, and we're gonna make sure you have the best talking points. Yeah. We're gonna this one I need to edit because I sound like a fucking idiot right now, but usually I don't. But yeah, we'll see you next time. See you on the next vlog, guys. BLAWK.AI.
Great connecting.